everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I have officially moved to beautiful San Juan Del Sur, Nicaragua. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Allison. I currently post content surrounding our relocation from Canada to Nicaragua. If you're interested in that kind of content, feel free to subscribe. The button is down below, and I also leave my Instagram down below in the description. Okay, so today is October the 16th. I did not think it would take this long to film this video. We have officially been living here now for coming up on 3 weeks, like just over 2.5 weeks, and I totally thought I'd be filming my first video here within the first week, or if not a few days, but life has been absolutely crazy and I'm finally sitting down to film an update. Since I'm so backlogged on videos right now, I can't even remember what I have filmed and what I haven't. I am currently editing the travel video that I filmed a few months ago and will be posting it today. I think I filmed one more video after that you probably saw right before this, and then I know I filmed a clip right before we left to do the big move from Canada to Nicaragua. So I think the way I'll start this video is just by including that clip here at the beginning of the video of how I was feeling literally right before we moved. All right, so today is September 27th. I am documenting how I'm feeling right now. Not sure if I'm gonna post this or not. But we leave for the airport in 3.5 hours from now. We leave around 7 p.m. for our 11 p.m. flight late tonight. How am I feeling? Extremely anxious. I've had an eye twitch for going on 3 days now. Had a headache for a couple days. It's a little bit better now. All of our suitcases and bins and everything are weighed and good to go. We are going to be taking 3 vehicles to the airport to get all 5 of us, 2 cats there, and all our luggage. We had our COVID test 2 days ago now, like a day and a half ago, and luckily the results came back in, and they came back in negative, which is a big relief. It was a little bit dicey trying to get them to the airlines on time because you have to get them to the airlines 36 hours before the flight. I think we're good to go. I have all 3 kids checked in. It won't let me check in Harrison and I, but I'm thinking that's because we're bringing cats with us and they need to do it in person. I'm hoping, so that's got my nerves going a little bit. We've definitely had some ups and downs, specifically with Riley. It's challenging saying goodbye to the house, challenging getting a COVID test, driving down here. We're in Vancouver right now at my mom's house, and she's extremely anxious about the travel tonight, as to be expected. So yeah, it still doesn't seem real. I think there's just too many things in the air right now. And the level of stress is just so incredibly high. I don't know when it will feel real. Maybe when we walk into our house, and maybe not even then. I honestly don't know. I just pray that we can all get there safely with our luggage, and that we can get our luggage through customs and everything we need to do in the next 24 hours, because 24 hours from now, we'll be home, which is crazy. Anyways, those are my thoughts on September 27th. All right, so after that video was filmed, things got crazy. I am happy to report that obviously we all made it here. We all made it safely in one piece. Our travel plans went as expected, but holy cow, was that probably one of the most stressful travel things, the most stressful travel things I have ever done. I actually filmed for my family and friends on, we have like a Marco Polo app. It's like a video chat app. Anyways, I filmed an update a few days after we got here of all of the travel and everything that we went through, and it was like a 20-minute long Marco. So I'm not gonna sit here and go through every single detail of our travel. Just know that it was very eventful, but I'll kind of go through some of the bigger key things, I guess. So we ended up taking 3 vehicles to the airport because we needed that many vehicles to transport all 5 of us, our 2 cats, and all of our luggage. We ended up with 16 pieces of luggage, plus the carry-ons and backpacks, I believe. Something like that. We had 8, it's already a blur. We had 8 big totes a box, 5 overweight suitcases. So what's that, 14? Okay, so 14 plus 5 carry-ons, 5 backpacks, and the 2 cats in their carriers. It was insane, but yeah, so we took 3 vehicles to get there, and getting into the Vancouver airport was probably one of the most stressful points of the entire journey, which I wasn't expecting. Mexico was also a stressful point, but yeah, we got there 3.5 hours early for our international flight, which I assumed would have been way more than enough time. The check-in process, like tagging each one of our boxes and bags, took close to an hour. I felt terrible. That's how long we were standing at the booth as they were tagging everything and getting everything through. I mean, my youngest was just like full of excitement and didn't want to sit still. Thankfully, we had grandparents there helping us out. My oldest, she was doing pretty fine. And then my middle, who is autistic, I would say out of the entire journey, obviously travel is difficult for her, change is difficult for her. But I wasn't expecting that beginning part of the journey to be the toughest on her. So it did bring up, a lot of concerns, a lot of nerves, because she was probably at her height of anxiety and stress at that first point, just checking into the airport. But I'm happy to report that after that point, things got so much better, and I could do a whole video about this, but she did so much better than I ever would have anticipated. So I am so thankful for that. But holy cow, that was quite the process. We then had to take our bags and they had to scan them individually. Like, they didn't just go on the conveyor belt. I had an inventory list of what was in our bags, thank goodness, because they were able to cross-reference with the x-ray and the lists I provided so that they didn't have to snap all my zip ties off of my bins. And it was nuts going through security with all our bags and having to go in a separate room to hold the cats so they could scan their carriers, and just a long walk to the gate. Anyways, long story short, we got to the gate just as they were boarding. So we were there 3.5 hours early, but we got to the gate just as they were boarding. So crazy. I'm so glad we were at the airport that early. But luckily we got on the flight fine. From our first leg was Vancouver to Mexico City. It was a 5.5 hour flight, and it went super well. My kids did better than I thought they would. I did not sleep. Most of them did. I did not, which didn't help me in the end. But anyways, we got off in Mexico City. We had a 2-hour layover, which I assumed would have been enough time. I knew it wasn't like a ton of time, but I've done a lot of connections before, and 2 hours is usually plenty of time. Oh man, when we got off, we came over this escalator, and there was just like hundreds and hundreds of people in these custom lines, like for customs, but the lines were like zigzagged and spiraling, and we got in the wrong line at first, and then we got in the right line, but then it had been an hour, and I was like we're nowhere near the front of the line, and our flight leaves soon. And anyways, long story short, we talked to somebody who was able to push us through the line because we had a connection. Then we had to go through all the cat paperwork. The cats really slowed us down for sure. Through security again, where at this time, like, we had some kitchen utensils in one of our carry-ons, and they ended up confiscating a rolling pin for like baking, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, that was crazy. The connection was absolutely crazy, and we were actually the last person to get on the plane. We just made our flight, and I'm so thankful, because I don't even want to think what would happen if we missed that flight. Pretty sure Mexico City only flies to Nicaragua 3 times a week, so I don't even want to think about that. I'm just so thankful that we made our flight, and it was only 2 flights. So we went from Mexico City straight to Nicaragua. That flight went well also, and once we were in Nicaragua, I had paid for a VIP service. So they basically met us when we got off the plane, and they took all our documentation, all our bag tags, everything they needed, and for a small fee they escorted us to like a VIP lounge, which had snacks and was air conditioned. It was just a great place for us to chill out and wait while they collected all our belongings and did all our customs forms for us and our cat paperwork and everything like that. So it was highly worth the small fee I paid for that. And then I was super worried about baggage, because I'm part of a lot of expat forums and expat groups on Facebook, and just watching, what's happening and what can be taken at customs and what can be held, and just, yeah, there's no like hard fast rules they can kind of do what they want in a sense. So I was very nervous about that. I did, after an hour and a half, I did get called down to customs, and they only had issue with one of our bags. It was actually the one box that we brought. It had my husband's computer and computer parts in it. And long story short, they wanted us to pay the fee for it, which I was totally fine with. However, we weren't able to pay the fee that day. They wanted to hold the computer, and we had to come back the next day. Unfortunately, San Juan Del Sur is 2 and a bit hours from the airport, so that sucked, but nothing we could do. I was happy all of the rest of our luggage got through no problem, so I was just counting my blessings for that. Our taxi driver was waiting outside with a giant van and got all of our stuff loaded, and we did the 2 and a bit hour drive here, where I got car sick, but everybody else seemed to do fine, and we were finally here. We arrived. So that's our travel kind of in a nutshell. I mean, obviously there was a lot more to it, but out of all things considered, I think it went really, really well. Since then, my husband has been back to the airport, which was quite the process to retrieve his computer. Oh my goodness. He brought a translator with him, and thank goodness for that. But even then, the process was like 6 hours or something, very confusing. In the end, he got his computer, so we're thankful for that because he needs that to work. But whew, what a process, what a process. I am learning Spanish. I have been taking Spanish lessons for several months now. I definitely have a long way to go still. He has not started to learn Spanish, so yeah, we're thankful for the translator. But yeah, I didn't really think through this video of like what I wanted it to entail beyond just like the travel part of it. I do know that I want to continue these videos and continue sharing our life here in Nicaragua, because there's just so much to share. There's so many things I can make videos on, and I definitely want to continue with this. So look out for those videos to come. I guess what I can say for now is we're all settling in really well. The kids are doing so much better than I thought they would. And they're loving their school. They started a week after we got here, and that's going super well. Still homeschooling my middle daughter, who is here with me, and that's definitely helping with the transition. We have had some issues with the home, some things that just needed to be repaired and updated, which is always fun, but we're kind of going with the mindset of just like go with the flow and one thing at a time. And it's definitely a slower pace of life and a more, I guess, you take a more laid back approach on things, which we are definitely ready for. So yeah, we've had some hiccups along the way, I'm not gonna lie, but overall things have gone really, really well. It's rainy season here at the moment, and I mean, we've only seen rain a handful of times. It usually comes in really quick, like in the evenings, it's like a downpour and then it's gone. So I'm curious to see how the last month or so of rainy season goes, because I believe it ends in November, like at the end of November, and then we're into dry season. So everything here is so green and beautiful and lush because it's coming to the end of rainy season. I've been exploring our property. If you follow me on Instagram, I found out that we had bananas and guavas and limes. I didn't even know they were already growing on our property, so that makes me really excited. I have big plans for starting an entire garden and greenhouse, which probably won't start until the following rainy season, but yeah, I have big plans for that. I have had a lot of fun going into town, and it's very small town vibes. So like when you grocery shop, you go to, you know, the different places, and I love shopping locally just from like the fresh air markets, and that's been super fun. We've tried out lots of different activities, horseback riding. We've gone to there's a water slide resort kind of up the hill from us, the beaches. My middle daughter has started art classes at the art warehouse that's in town, which is amazing for kids. And yeah, we've just been exploring, but not trying to do too many things all at once, taking it slow, settling into our life, and just kind of slowly integrating and trying new things. I was just thinking of some other things I could talk about. We did buy a vehicle. We bought a vehicle here prior to arriving, which was amazing. Kind of just like we had someone grocery shop for us prior to arriving. It just made the process so much smoother. So I am thankful for that. So we're able to get around town. We also started our residency application prior to leaving Canada. We were able to get all our paperwork off and in the mail, because that is quite the process as well. But that luckily is underway. So until we have residency, we will have to do like visa renewals. So I'll probably do a video on that because I haven't done it before. So that is underway. Like I said, I'm doing doing some Spanish. My husband's work from home was going well. Luckily our internet is fantastic, so really, really thankful for that. I don't know how much, I don't think I've talked much about the fact that we've bought a home. However, we have plans to do an addition. There's like a cleared out lot beside us, and we've been working with a contractor to work on an addition, because at this point this home has 3 bedrooms, so we need another bedroom. We need an office for my husband's work. Currently he's working kind of in the living room, and that's why we bought this house, because it already had the perfect space for an addition. So that construction hasn't started yet. We're finalizing the plans on that, and I will probably do some videos as construction begins on that. And I'll probably do some videos on our house, what's it called, caretaker. I was gonna say housekeeper, caretaker, because that is a pretty big thing here in Nicaragua, and I didn't know much about it before, you know, coming here and looking at houses and learning about everything that's here. And we do have a caretaker on site, and I just love him so much. I mean, it's still, we're having to translate with our phones because he doesn't know any English and I know some Spanish, so I can't wait till I can converse with him like fluently. But I would love to do a video on him and what that's all about as well. And yeah, I think that's about it. I haven't met too many people in the community yet. Most of them I've met virtually on Facebook, because there's lots of amazing expat groups and moms groups and whatnot. I have met a few people in person, and they have been so sweet and welcoming and friendly, so I've been definitely happy about that. I actually signed up for my first retreat coming up next weekend. It's just like a day retreat, 9 to 3, and it's just up the road here, and it has to do with like breath work and meditation and holistic eating and things like that. It's just totally my vibe, so I'm super excited to go. That will be my first like event thing that I go to out in the community, and I'm hopeful that I can, you know, meet some people that way as well. And yeah, I think that's about it. I guess for the next series of videos, if you guys have any requests or anything you'd like to see, leave it down below. I'm going to create a list of video topics and ideas I'd like to post on Nicaragua and just our moving process in general. So yeah, definitely let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for following along on our journey, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye.